Hey guys, how's it going? Jerome here from Jerry's Apps. In my previous video, I showed you the basics of AirConsole and Unity, starting from scratch to exporting to the AirConsole servers. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how messaging works. I kind of went into that previously a little bit, but now I'm going to dive deeper. So I'm going to start with the AirConsole demo for the Pong. Now the idea is you have two rackets or paddles, one on each side. If we actually play this demo, we'll get two simulated controllers, which is the same as having two phones. If none of this is making sense to you, please go back to the first video or look at the AirConsole developer website just to see the basics of what you need to know. So the idea is I have two phones, and what happens is if I hit the up button, you'll see that my paddle's going up. For the second one, if I hit down, it goes down. So what's happening here is when I hit the up button or down button, there's a message going from your phone to the screen. And that's going to tell the screen what to do. So as you can kind of guess, the main core concept of your games will use messaging. Without messaging, you have no AirConsole. So what I'm going to show you now is the actual code that's making this happen. So if we go to our controller, you'll see here that this is our buttons. We're going to move. We have a button that says up, and we're moving by 5. We have a button that says down. We move by -5. Now, that function it's calling is simply sending a message to our screen by the amount we want to move. And when we go to our screen logic, we'll see that when we receive our message, we're seeing what player we have, and we're simply moving the paddle by the amount that we receive. Now this example here, it doesn't really have much for error checking. It's still assuming that you understand what this convert device ID to player number is. In a future video I'll show you how to manage players, but for now just try to stick with the video. If you don't understand this, if you do, great, and you just want to know more about messaging, this will help. If you don't understand the player logic, then it won't matter, you can still follow along. So as you can see here, we simply move the racket. Now I want to extend this a little bit, and what I want to do is make the paddle grow. Now normally for Pong you wouldn't let a player just grow, but as you can imagine, maybe the player collects a super that allows them to grow, or maybe they want to change their paddle color, or anything else. Maybe they want to change the tilt of the paddle. You can easily extend this in order to do that, and I'll show you how. So first things first, let's add our button for grow, and let's say grow. We're going to call our function grow, and we'll do it by, let's say, 1. I don't care about on touch end. Let's do on mouse down, and I don't care about up. So this will add our button. We got to change our CSS or else the buttons will be way too big. And we also got to add our function. So let's go grow. And again, we're going to send our message to the screen. Let's call our parameter grow. And now what you'll see is if you run this, your controller will now have a button called grow. Now, it's not going to do anything, but we can work on that after. So if we hit grow, it actually is moving it. That's a little weird. Let's see what's going on here. So I'm growing. Oh, you see what I did? I didn't actually put grow here. So I'm a big fan of testing things incrementally. Let's say if I finished all the code and then tested it and this occurred, I wouldn't have caught this as easily. So let's rerun that. And what I'm expecting to happen is the paddle won't move and it won't grow when I hit the grow button. But the up and down button should still work. So up and down still work, and grow isn't doing anything, but you see it is causing an exception. Now the reason why we're seeing an exception is if we go to the code here, this on message isn't looking for anything, it's just basically using it. So there's a couple ways around this. My favorite solution is adding an action parameter. So we can say our action is move, our action is grow, You could base it on this move parameter if it's here, if the grow parameter's there. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and add our action value, because that is really my favorite way of doing it. So we want to say action move, action grow, and as you can see, if you do it this way, you can easily add more actions. So we need to get that action now. So string action equals, it's a string, and we want to get this from our data, and we want to go action. Now we want to make sure action is not null, because maybe we have other messages that don't use action. So if action does not equal null, then we're going to go ahead and do stuff. So first things first, let's wrap this in here. And let's say if action equals move, then we'll go ahead and use our move logic. But if we're growing, we'll do our grow logic. Grow. All right, so if we want to make this grow, we got to change this logic here a little. So let's say transform, and we want local scale, and let's set that to new vector 3, and we want to change the height, and we want to add to it, not set it, and change this to grow, and we'll copy and paste. Now in another video I'm going to show you how to do managing of players. I don't recommend doing it this way where we have, a copy and paste. I prefer a more dynamic approach, but for this example we'll stick with it. So let's try that and see what happens. So we're going to hit play, and I suspect up and down should still work, and our grow hopefully works. So up, down, our other controller works, and what happens if we grow? For some reason my player disappeared for a second, but we see growing is working. So let's try that again. Grow, grow. So now we have really big paddles. So we have two different messages going on here, and they're doing two different actions. And as you can see, you could extend this. I'm not sure why it's disappearing at first. Let's just do a quick check here. So we're checking for grow. We're adding to our scale. That looks fine to me. Grow by amount. Okay, that's my fault. I put in -1 for a grow. Again, incremental steps will allow you to get to where you want easier. We should be able to move our paddle and grow our paddle. So paddle up and grow. Look at that. So our paddle's growing, no problem. Grow. We can move up and down. So as you can imagine, kind of add a superpower if you want it. Maybe you don't want to always let a player grow unless they get, maybe 3 balls in a row, or maybe if someone's really losing badly, they can activate grow. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, but essentially that's the end of this video. I showed you the basics of messaging, how to take the demo that AirConsole gives you and extend on it, add a new message. You've got the idea of setting an action to make it a lot easier to handle on message. And from here, you really should be able to grow and dive deep. If you're looking at porting a game, this should give you what you need to actually start porting the game over. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please don't be afraid to reach out. I'd love to help you. But for now, I'm going to leave you with this. Go ahead and try it. I do have many videos that I want to do in the series. As mentioned, I want to do a player video, how to actually manage players, do it in a way that's dynamic so you're not copy and pasting as much. But that's it for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it helped you out. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, also let me know. And other than that, have fun with it and have a good night. Bye!